Woohoo! We are live! We are live! Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I think it's on. All right, what's up, my writing weirdos? Welcome back to this week's installment of Write a Book with BC and Sako. I want to thank everybody, especially Sako, for taking over last week. I was so dead to the world sick that I didn't know what day it was. I barely knew what day it was because my partner was like, "Isn't this Monday? Don't you have your thing that you do with that other writer on Mondays?" And I was like, holy shit, it is. I should probably tell her I'm really sick.
I really appreciate you giving me a heads up.
Yeah. Really, if it hadn't been for my partner, I might not have, because I was that far gone out of it. I mean, my fever was really spiked up at that point. But he was just like, yeah, you have that thing and you should probably at least let her know. And I was like, yes, I totally should. So that was why you got the very quick, I am really sick message.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so anyway, I want to welcome everybody to the stream tonight, where we are going to be working on the beats for our story. So my writing weirdos, if you don't know what it is that Sako and I are doing, if you are new here by any chance, we are writing a book together live for you, right in front of your faces. We have only had a couple of episodes, of which I missed one episode last week, where we have basically put together the general plot of the story, and we have fleshed out some of the character profiles, and we've done that live on the stream. So the first episode where we did the general plot fleshing out was here on my channel. You can find that. I've got a playlist for it, as a matter of fact. Last week was on Sako's channel, where Sako was kind enough to do all of the character profiles and flesh those out, because I did not have the chance to. And then this week, we will be working on beats. So, but for those of you who might be new here for some reason, I want to let my wonderful co-host and co-writer introduce herself. Sako, go ahead.
Howdy, Howlers. It's Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things to bring you content. So if you are looking to be a better marketer of your authordom, English, I know it, I swear I do, or you want to be a witchier witch, please drop by my channel. I would love to see you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, you all know me. I am BC, and this is BC Brown Books. And if you don't know where you are, then take a closer look at your YouTube before you go clickety-clack. No, anyway, this is where we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can, and that's by writing them or talking about writing them. And tonight we are going to talk about writing them so that eventually we can write them live before your very eyes. So we have quite a few people that are here with us tonight, and always good to see all of my writing weirdos that show up. Doll is here, and OK is here. Write with Melanie is here. Ms. Bonnie is here as well. Allie Unicorn Fan 85 is going to catch a live one tonight. Hopefully you'll be able to stay awake, but if you can't stay awake, then that is fine.
It's okay. You can fall asleep. It's okay.
It's okay. It's hashtag replay. Hashtag replay. It's all good. It's all good. So Doll is also breaking some rules and drinking some coffee so she doesn't fall asleep tonight.
Drinking coffee. Wow.
And, oh, hey, so Melanie is feeling well-rested today. I wish I could say that I was feeling well-rested today, but I'm still getting over being sick, so not feeling all that well-rested, but it's okay. Allie says that it's 2 to an hour past normal bedtime. Just happen to be off tomorrow, so don't have to be up extra early for work, which is always good. That is a nice break. Otherwise, normally you'd be asleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some folks are going to grab some tea before the stream starts, which is always good.
Cool.
Allie's been trying to get to sleep. That's fine. If you got to sleep, you got to sleep. It's all good. Yeah. We understand if you can't make it. Like Melanie was saying, if you can't make it through it, do what you got to do. If you got to rest, you got to rest. Eva Wrights is here. I always love it when Eva is here. Hey, Eva. Mercer Too Good is here. Good to see you, Mercer. Looks like Melanie is doing a little bit of reading while they waited for the stream. Spence is here. Always good to see you, Spence. And Debbie is here. Debbie, good to see you as always. Let me see. It just skipped here for me.
Yeah, there's a lot
Tomas,
happening.
yeah, there's a lot happening in the chat already, which is so cool. I love it. Tomas is here. Also good to see you, Tomas. And Sage is dropping by on the way to bed. Thank you for dropping a like and leaving the stream up for watch time. I really do appreciate it, Sage. I hope you get some good sleep. Jessica Williamson is here. Good to see you. Oh yeah, Spence, it's so terrible. Like I'm fortunate that my clients understood this last week, even though I was under quite a few deadlines and under quite a heavy workload. When they got these somewhat delirious messages from me about being sick and like punctuation was wrong and and everything, they were like, she might be really sick. So yeah. So I was glad that I don't have so many clients going on right now that I had to worry about losing any of them. I did miss a deadline with one of my clients, but it wasn't too bad. So, and I redoubled for all my work like immediately. So Melanie says that last week was so much fun. I agree. I did watch the replay, so I did at least see what was going on. I am glad that I'm back and feeling better as well. ADHD is in the house today. Jessica says it's really their bedtime, so just stopped in to say hi. That is totally cool. We like hi. Doll is like, almost stayed outside with the roommate, but no, I have a stream to catch.
Oh,
that's how dedicated we are sometimes, you know, to different streams and stuff like that. We're all like, I got to stream. I got to be on right now. I don't care how pretty it is outside. I don't care what I'm doing. I got to stream. Spence, my sleep schedule is so sideways. I'm not even bothered. Mine is really weird too, because I'm partially sleeping nights because my partner is working nights right now, and I'm partially sleeping days so that I can still do my client work and so that I can still do my Authortube stuff.
Weirdness.
Yeah, I'm doing like you sleep for like 4 or 5 hours at night, and you sleep for like 3 or 4 hours sometime during the day, like a split sleep thing, and
I've been doing that too, actually.
It's weird because I feel like I'm rested, but I'm not ever fully rested, but I'm not ever really fully tired. Like I have trouble falling asleep, where I shouldn't be having trouble falling asleep. And then once I'm asleep, I have trouble waking up because my body's like, you still need to be asleep.
Oh, body inertia, yeah.
Yeah. So Melanie is loving your hair and makeup tonight. Very much on point.
At BC's recommendation, I got like lip stain, and it's wonderful.
It's like the best stuff.
Absolutely fabulous stuff.
Yeah, it is like the best stuff. It is the best stuff. Okay, so what we have,
guess I should get a drink.
I made sure I had my soda to get me through and keep me awake for a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of caffeine, keep me going. And then, of course, just my pure, unadulterated sugar in my Sweetest Fishes.
Sugar. What a good idea.
I know. Sugar is so good. Sugar is so good. Okay, so what we have so far, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
So we're going to do a recap?
Yeah, we're just going to do a basic recap. So what we basically have so far is this is our Bible, our story Bible. And we have basically fleshed out our primary characters for the story. We have fleshed out our basic timeline for when we're going to be live streaming, how we're going to be writing this, when's going to be our production, our editing, and stuff like that. So we have done all of that. And you can see in the different colors and stuff where we've had just production notes back and forth to each other. That's the only thing that we've been doing that hasn't been live on the stream. Yeah. Because we're trying to do everything as much as possible right here in front of all of you, so that if you are curious on how we do a story and how we write a story, then you can literally see every bit of it.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So this is just breakdowns of what we've done on each of our streams so far, on the first stream and the second stream. And we've gone back through and like initially things said like private investigator is sure it's demonically related, blah, blah, blah. And Sako went back through after she did character profiles last week and put in the names appropriately, which that was just changing up a little bit of stuff.
Only a little bit.
Yeah. So, and then of course we have our character profiles that we've been doing that you can see that are kind of up on the screen now.
Yay, profiles.
Yay, profiles. So today what we are going to be doing are our story beats. And if you're not familiar with what story beats are basically the smallest minutia of your story. It is the cause and effect in your different scenes throughout the story. So like
I think of them as prompts.
Okay.
For chapters, basically. Like, yeah, it's either a cause or it's an effect. If it's not either of those things, then it doesn't need to be in the book.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's like if you have this has to happen in order for this to happen, and another thing has to and then that caused something, that effect caused something else to trigger. That's kind of what your story beats are. So,
Yup.
Yeah. So Doll is like, this is so organized, and then Bro and I are like, no process at all.
Well, you guys like chat a lot more than we do. Like, we're trying really hard not to work on this outside of the stream, and it's so hard. And you guys are like at Mach 10, like freaking going all the way.
We're like warp 1 at this point, and you guys are at warp 10. That is where you guys are at. And like you said, you've gotten sucked up in a massive world building wormhole, and it can be like a huge that can be a rabbit hole to just go down. If Sako and I just went crazy on our world building right now, we would have to stream constantly. I mean,
yeah.
So we're kind of,
I think we're going to try and do some world building while we do the beats.
We're going to have to, I think. So I think that's
we'll make some notes about the world as we come to it.
Yeah. Yeah, Melanie, I really love creating character profiles too. I was so sad that I was sick for it last week, basically. But there's still some more stuff. Like Sako didn't go hugely into detail. Mm-hmm. So there's still some depth that we can go into with the character profiles, which is nice. So I'll still be able to like take part in that process.
I also have a couple of sketches that I need to put on the Pinterest board. Okay,
cool. I definitely have not gotten that far. I mean, I pinned some more stuff on the Pinterest board so that I was, thinking about different stuff and everything, but looks like Debbie had to stop participating in a lot of live streams because school year started for kids and it's online all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that has changed a lot of things for a lot of parents with schools deciding to start back up and going back online for everything. So that's a lot of computer time, and that's a lot of computer time monitoring your kids. So I'm fortunate I don't have any kids. So I don't have to worry about that so much. But I'm still missing a lot of live streams just because of this whole split sleep schedule thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I know how you feel, Spence.
Yep.
I know how you feel. Bonnie was wondering if the wedding was fun, by the way.
Hasn't happened yet. It's happening on September 20th.
Okay.
Or do you mean the wedding that I photographed? I would say yes, that was fun, exhausting, but fun. It was a long day.
Yes, her name, doll, will still be Justicia.
Mm-hmm.
At least as far as I know that that hasn't changed. So it's still in our notes.
Yeah, so far that hasn't changed.
Yeah. World building is more for the writer than the readers, in my opinion.
I agree.
I agree. Jenna said it best in our video from a couple weeks ago that so much work goes into world building, but maybe a small percentage of it ends up in the book, which is very true.
Like, I'm not, if we only go into a house for like a chapter, I'm not going to describe the house like to the T.
No.
Like, or to give the history of the house or whatever. Like, sometimes it's just a house. It's okay for it to be just a house sometimes.
Yeah, it's fine for it to be a generic house. Anybody can just imagine it however they want at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. All right, so I wasn't seeing on Story Planner where we can break down.
I have a paid account.
Oh, okay. Do you want to use? Do we want to use yours then? Because you should be able to share screen too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do that. New page. Story Planner. Yeah, I like how I put in story, and it's like storytellersvault.com.
It's like, oh, you know me so well. Hey, Morgan Lee, good to see you. Yeah, that could be a thing, Melanie, where we all do that, where we can get like caught up on the minutia of specific parts of world building. It's just easy to do. And I'm a chronic overwriter, so I add way more detail than I need to, and then all of that gets redacted, like it gets edited out.
I am very much so an underwriter, so I think it'll be good for, like, I'll do the first pass, and then you can like go back and like fill it out.
Oh yeah, I love elaborating.
Yeah, sounds great. Who am I? What's going on here?
Story Planner.
Share screen. Do application window. Okay, I think you have to put it up.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
So you see a couple of my other projects that I'm sort of working on, but currently we are, let me get to that screen. We got I did a spine, which is super brief.
Okay.
I did the blueprint for Jerry, who is the cop.
Okay.
Blueprint for Justicia, who is our little Latina. Blueprint for Christopher St. Todd, who is our antagonist. Mm-hmm. And Daisaku Watson, who is our detective.
Awesome. Okay. So what we need to do then, I'm trying to figure out where in like, so they don't have a place that are beats. I'm wondering if it's in story structure under story plans.
It is.
Okay.
So what kind do we want to, I don't know that I want to do Save the Cat. I don't know that that's a direction I want to go.
I don't know that I want to do Save the Cat either.
There's Cam Weiland. She has a pretty good system.
Okay, we could do that.
She was the first that I ever read for structure.
Cool.
I got her books and stuff and just went to town.
Yeah, I really like her books.
All right, so first, the hook. An inherent question. Introduce the character. Introduce the setting. Make a sweeping declaration to make the reader ask why. Set the tone. Grab attention. So usually it is high action. Start in the middle, leave in the middle. Which is how you get your why.
Okay.
So we want to have Daisaku probably in the middle of investigating another Nephilim.
Yeah, I figured we would have him. Maybe he has an ongoing project with tracking the Nephilim.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are so rare, or are they really all that rare in this world?
I think. Well, maybe it's not so much the Nephilim. The Nephilim should be like super rare, but the Nephandi, the ones who are like selling their souls.
Oh yeah, that's not as rare. That is actually fairly commonplace.
That's going to be fairly common, yeah.
Okay, so I think based on his character background, maybe he's actually charting the Nephandi instead. Like he's actually that's his job is kind of keeping track of them.
Okay, so he's tracking a Nephandis, which is funny because I think I started another book very similarly. Let's see. He's got to be. So the question is going to be, why is he tracking this guy? Yeah?
Yeah. So what's so special about this one family?
Maybe this is the beginning of our human trafficking thing.
Okay, and so maybe this particular
maybe he's looking into like a pedo sort of situation, and then it turns out that he's actually like, sold his soul to the devil and shit. Maybe what is he doing? Is he a pedo? Is he looking to pick up maybe he's a kidnapper? Maybe he's selling drugs? Maybe he's got to be doing some kind of illegal activity, right?
Yeah, but I'm just wondering with the overall, I mean, they're trying to keep this on the downplay as much as possible because they don't want the council to get involved. So,
well, it's got to be a mini version of the plot, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to hit the ground running. So let's see. He's tracking this guy. Is he doing it with his partner? Or is that a whole separate ball of wax?
I think that's a whole separate ball of wax.
Maybe chapter 2 will be like, I got my intel from my partner, blah, blah, blah. Also, my day job is this. So what's important about this Nephandis? Like,
well, so
I should make it so I can see the comments. Hold on. Oh, interesting. Okay. Hi, Natalie. Yay.
Hey, Natalie. Good to see you. So let me see here. Let me think here.
He's got to do something. So he did something that flagged him on the radar, right? Now, is it that he like powered off, like he threw a truck at somebody or something, and the council is like, that is something that people shouldn't see. And so Daisaku is sent to like investigate that guy and possibly bring him in.
I thought we weren't gonna have. I thought we weren't gonna have the council give a shit until the major ping on the radar, on the magical radar from Justicia.
I would think that the Mage Council would still be doling out bounties on certain people. And maybe later on we find out that the council is setting bounties out on maybe innocent people who rubbed the council the wrong way.
Ooh, then we get into politicals.
And then we get into like witch hunting sort of situations.
Yeah, that's true. Bonnie, a Nefandus is a human that sold their soul to a demon or a devil for abilities or power or something like that. So they basically become enthralled.
Mm-hmm.
So Eva's saying that he's having an affair with someone more important.
That would combine the real world and the fantasy world. How... I was thinking we were going to keep them separate until later on when they really start blending together.
Yeah. I think they'll still say separate at this point. Later is when we'll start to blend, and that's when we get into ice and enthralled ice and stuff like that.
Oh, hey, Caro. Yay.
Hey, Caro, good to see you. Okay, so with our Nefandus,
okay, so
so what if it's as simple as he's a Nefandus who is a higher level lieutenant? He's not quite a commander. He's a higher level lieutenant. He's been in the LA area. There have been.
Is he a cop?
No.
Or military?
No, just like
in the Mage Council?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's interpolitical.
Yes. I don't know. Something about that doesn't feel quite right, though.
He should have some kind of authority that makes him hard to touch. Right? So maybe he's a sour cop.
Aren't they all, though? No, I'm Hey, Alexis. Good to see you.
Hi, Alexis.
So Eva's saying maybe the person he sold his soul to is being investigated.
That would be a demon. And I want to introduce demons like way down the line.
Yeah, they're going to come into play. They're going to have to come into play much later because of our whole. After we introduce our social worker, that's when the demons are going to kind of start to come more into play. Natalie's saying if the Mage Council doesn't give a shit, how about that the protagonist discovers a secret about them they don't want any other of their own kind to know, and he finds out info on the mortal person.
Okay, so that would go back to the lieutenant of Mage Council and find something dirty on them.
Yeah.
Through this person that he's meeting rather than tracking?
Could be. That's a good idea, actually.
Or because that takes the Nefandi part out of it. It would be just a normal dude. Because being a Nefandis, that automatically makes him a criminal.
Yeah, so if we take that out of play and we make it just a normal dude, just meeting with a contact.
Meeting with a contact regarding something about a lieutenant in the Mage Council. So that introduces the Mage Council right off the bat.
Yeah, which we do need to do because we need the association between what the hell the Sako is doing.
This guy.
Okay. So why is he meeting this guy? Is that he has that he has information about concealment going on by the Mage Council and Celestials on Earth?
I don't know that we want to introduce the Celestials on Earth just yet. We do want to have some foreshadowing. We do.
Yeah. So he's got information about information suppression. Like so maybe the Mage Council is suppressing this information about Celestials, which we don't bring that part up yet. Just that he has information and he has proof that that their Mage Council is holding back from their bounty hunters, from their clairvoyant contacts, from...
Oh, I don't think I ever made the clairvoyant.
Oh, I don't think we did either. That's okay. So we can...
I didn't make any secondary characters yet.
Yeah. That's okay. We can do the secondary characters at some point coming up.
Cool.
Yeah. So we can make sure that we leave ourselves some time for that, maybe.
Cool. All right, so the dramatic question, which fuels the entire plot, should be present in the first scene.
So should be... So this should be... This has to do with Justicia, because she is the overall plot.
Is Justicia so important?
Yes.
How is she different?
Yeah, because if she's just another flambeau, albeit that being rare, why is she so important? Other than the fact that, she burned down a building.
So it could be... Do we dick around doing this? Okay, so the first chapter can go one of three ways. One, we do this thing.
Yes.
Two, we hunt Nefandis. 3, intro to Justice. Oh my God, Sako. Justicia's case. So what could happen is, like, right out of the gate, the ping for Justicia goes off, and he has to basically track down this girl.
So I definitely think that the intro has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what has to be going on right out of the case, because that's the main plot, is why is she so important. But I also think number one,
I think that's pretty important too. I think that's like our meta plot.
yeah. So that's, maybe the reason that he takes, it's not just that the Mage Council assigned him per se, because he is a bounty hunter, so he can choose what bounties he picks up.
Correct.
So it's not just that she's another flambeau. It's not just that it was like a really powerful ping, but maybe he also has this contact that has boots on the ground going on and has some information. So that would tie back into, like, that guy happens to be already dispatched in the LA area for whatever reason. Like, he's there for suppression of abilities. He's there on the Mage Council to cover shit up. But he's some other information he wants to give Daisaku as well. Maybe because he's uncovered some stuff. Because he's started to uncover the...
So maybe so it's more so the contact getting a hold of Daisaku instead of Daisaku getting a hold of the contact.
Yeah. So I was thinking it's like, so Daisaku is going through his potential bounties that he can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl has a lot of this event has a lot of potential. And the Mage Council would like him on it, but he has the right to
turn it down.
Yeah, to turn it down until he gets an email from this contact in the area saying, there's some shit going on out here that I think you should know about.
That's a great idea. So we hit two birds with one stone, right?
Yeah.
So
we get to introduce our meta and our primary plot at the same time.
So Daisaku is going through the bounties, finds...
Hey, Shelby.
Hi, Shelby! Finds a young Latina case who burned down a building with fire powers and killed a homeless man.
Mm-hmm.
So she is technically being, in the real world, being charged with the homeless man, but also being investigated because fire powers.
Yes.
Because I like the idea of our investigator being both a bounty hunter in Mundania as well as a bounty hunter in the supernatural sense.
Yeah.
Yes, Alexis, get some rest.
Yeah. I was going to say, definitely, Alexis, get some rest. Dropping your phone on your face, not a good thing. Good night.
I've done that so many times.
I know. So have I. Dropped books, dropped my phone, dropped whatever. So yeah. So he's going through the bounties. He finds Justicia's case, who's in custody because of the video. The video shows her burning down this place.
So she let's see. Justicia is already in custody.
She's juvie, so.
And she's juvie. So maybe he's a bounty hunter in supernatural sense and an actual detective / investigator for Mundania.
I would think that was what, that way he would have.
So he's a cop. Like,
well, not necessarily a cop, but he's a bounty hunter.
So you want him to be a bounty hunter in Mundania too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it gives him the most freedom.
Okay.
Hey, Heather, good to see you.
Hi, Heather.
So, I mean, if she's not already in custody.
No, she should totally be in custody. So his partner is still a cop, yeah? His contact?
His contact is still a cop.
Also, I made the contact female, but please can they have a platonic relationship?
Yes, they can have a platonic relationship.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just because they have genitals that fit together, let's not force that. I don't want to do that.
We don't have to.
All right, so maybe the Jerry filled the file.
Okay.
So maybe that's what caught his attention, really, was that Jerry filled the file, filed the case and
gave him made sure it got passed along to him, so that it was possible for him to check out.
Yee. How I phrased what spiel?
About it being platonic and that their genitals should, just because their genitals fit together. Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that. I like when there can just be a platonic thing going on.
That pissed me off the most about Anita Blake series.
Oh, tell me about it. Ugh.
Edward and Anita were a wonderful pair regarding platonic relationships, and then they made them hook up anyway.
Yep, and it was so forced.
Oh, so mad. I was so mad.
It was so beyond forced.
I totally quit the series after that.
Yeah. So I did the same thing. I was like, and I'm done.
And I'm done.
It's like, that didn't make any sense. Okay. Yeah. So Jerry files it, make sure that Daisaku gets flagged for it.
Okay, so Jerry files the case and forwards to Daisaku. Oh, sweet Christ.
Oh, don't worry.
Relating to platonic, maybe there's a rule that forbids anything more. No, because that would force the issue yet again. So yeah. We want them to be friends because they choose to be friends, not because they're forced to be.
Because men and women can just be friends. And it's fine if that gets brought up a couple of times of, dude, we could just be friends. The website that we're on is on storyplanner.com.
Yep.
And it is awesome.
This is the paid account. This is the KM Wyland outlining.
Yes.
System.
So they do have a free account that you can use, and then they have paid accounts. But we are using a paid account for it.
Yep.
Okay, so files it to Daisaku. Daisaku then is marginally interested in the case. It's like one of a couple that he's considering, but then he gets the email about stuff going on in the council.
Maybe it's the clairvoyant.
Well, that actually would really work, because so say the council has these clairvoyants set up along major ley line points.
Oh my God, I can't remember how to spell clairvoyant.
CLAIR.
Oh, sweet Christ.
VOY.
VOY.
ANT.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We all have those days.
I am all over it today. Jesus Christ.
Hey, don't worry. Everybody can see what it's truly like being a writer and writing. And the problems we have to go through.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So Melanie kind of thinks the same idea, that it's a good idea that maybe it's forbidden, but also it's kind of a that gets done a lot. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then gets an email from the clairvoyant.
Wants to meet
about some important information.
Meet about what? Meeting with clairvoyant regarding something about a lieutenant in the Mage Council is purposely
suppressing celestial information.
Suppressing celestial information.
Yeah.
Because it could be that the clairvoyant is like, hey, like celestials are a thing. I see them coming. I know they're coming. And the Mage Council is like, nope, shut up. And this lieutenant like squashes the poor clairvoyant, maybe fires them or maybe puts them on suspension or something like that. And the clairvoyant is like, hey, Daisaku, I need to fucking tell you something.
Yeah, there's something going on here.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, Melanie, it's well worth the paid.
Oh, it's so worth it.
Yeah, there's so many things that open up. It is well worth the paid version.
I think I paid $40 for the year. Yeah, it's totally worth $40 for the year.
Cameo. It's a catio.
Oh, I have to look. I have to look.
Hey, Spot.
Hi, Spot. Hi, Spot. Sweetie boy. Oh.
So I have to tell you how freaked out we were. We got up the other morning and all three cats, sometime while we were asleep, had gotten out of the house. We don't know if they snuck out while like the roommate was letting the dogs out at some point, or if the back door just didn't get completely closed. Fortunately, the kittens were like, they're still too small and they were like trapped in the backyard.
Okay.
But my Void was gone for quite a while, and he finally came back. He was missing his collar. Like, poor Spot has like a cut on his tail where I'm guessing one of the outdoor cats like got him. They were traumatized for like the whole afternoon over the weekend.
Poor things.
Like we couldn't get them to like not run away when we would like walk near them, and like.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Freezy time. Don't worry, folks. She'll be back. Yeah, poor kitties. Jeez. All right. I'm going to take this opportunity to put this back in the freezer and possibly do a bio. Go AFK for a hot second. Wow, this is a really long hang.
Okay, that is so weird.
Oh, welcome back. Now I have double BC.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get rid of one of those. There we go.
Okay. I'm going to put this in the freezer.
Oh, yeah, cool. So both my kittens, Melanie, are siblings, and we think they're somewhere around 16 weeks. Like that's what they're being guessed at, between 16 to 20 weeks. So hey, Key, good to see you. Yeah, it was quite a panic-inducing scenario to wake up. My partner woke me up, and he was gonna let me sleep in, and then he was like, "I'm sorry to wake you up because I know you were wanting to sleep in today, but I can't find any of the cats, and the back door is like open, and so I was like freaking out in my yard, especially like I was out there for like an hour calling like front yard and backyard, just going between both yards, calling my Void, like trying to get him to come home. And he finally came home. I heard like the most tentative meowing.
Oh.
And he comes jumping into the backyard, but I have no idea where his collar is. Like it's MIA somewhere in the neighborhood, I'm guessing.
He must have got caught. And like it gave way because
it has a breakaway. So I don't know. His collar's just somewhere random. But I was freaking out because we were already like posting on like internet boards, and like we're already posting like his picture, and because there are a lot of like people down here there's a lot of stories about black cats getting hurt.
Yeah, of course.
And then
in Arizona, that's fucking countrywide, man.
Yeah, and then on top of that, cats get picked up down here all the time as bait for dog fighting rings. Yep. So yeah.
Oh my god, I'll be right back. Holy crap.
Okay. Yes, thank you for worrying everybody. I don't know that was weird. Like we never have internet issues. So like, but yeah, my poor babies, they're doing better. They are doing much better now. Right now they're desperately trying to figure out how to get up. So my Void loves to sit up in this window that I have that's back over here. And that like he loves to hang out up there. Well, the kittens are just now getting big enough that they can kind of get up there. So they're desperately behind me right now trying to figure out how to get up in that window and hang out up there, which they're not supposed to be crawling on any of this stuff. But anyway, good to have you back, Spence. Anyway, so what we have so far is, all right, so our main character, who is our bounty hunter, is going through his bounties, finds the Latina case about the burning down a building with fire powers, killing a homeless man. She's in custody. She's a juvie. Jerry, who is our main character's contact, is the cop that files the case and forwards it to Daisaku. Daisaku is considering it. It's like, maybe I'd like to go do this case. Maybe I wouldn't like to go do this case. But then he gets an email from our clairvoyant, which we're going to have to flesh out our clairvoyant character too. And they want to meet up. They want to meet up about the suppression of celestial information. So that gets us back up to where we're at. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Black cats are usually in danger in most places. And it kills me that's the reason that we have our Void to begin with. Nobody wanted to, like our friends rescued his litter off of the street, and nobody wanted him because he was the black cat. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Oh, black cats are such love bugs. They almost always are. I mean, mine is a combination love bug and asshole. It's like he's a perfect cat. Like when he wants to cuddle, he really wants to cuddle, and when he doesn't, he's just like, "You're a dick, go away."
Yeah.
Yeah. And but my orange tabby's the same way. Okay, so all I did was a recap of what we had there in the hook so far.
Cool. Right. Clairvoyant regarding the clairvoyant was put on suspension for bringing it up, and he wants to, or they want to, let me big that up a little bit. They want to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why Daisaku is taking the case and going. Not specifically about her, but her with a little added intrigue.
So both why Is the Latin girl in custody / who is the mage council?
Okay.
All right. Act 1, Part 1. After the hook, you must introduce the protagonist, antagonist, love interest, sidekick, mentors, etc. So we have Daisaku, Watson, investigator, and Christopher, St. Todd,
Social worker.
social worker. Thank you. We got no love interest so far.
Yeah. I
we do have-
don't think we're gonna have one.
I don't think so either. Sidekick, sort of, kind of partner, ally. Oh, sweet Christ. Jerry
Shaw.
Thank you. Folks, the victim,
I mean, Justicia is kind of the victim of this story because when she's being sought by the social worker,
basically the MacGuffin, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's gonna end up like kicking ass by act 3, but it's gonna take her time to get there.
And take her time to get there.
Doll is so glad that there's no love interest so far. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I can't envision a romantic subplot in this story.
I think it would be a distraction.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, Doll says not every story needs one, and I hate it when it's forced down our throats. Then again, I'm Ace.
Yeah.
But no, it's I think it does get. There's too much emphasis placed on there being some type of love interest in every story, and not every story calls for that.
Not every story calls for that. Okay, stakes and setting. What do your characters... Okay, so what does Daisaku
care about?
Cares about...
So Daisaku cares about maintaining the integrity of the magically inclined.
Of the magically inclined. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen?
Witch hunts for no reason.
Witch hunt for no reason. Show an investment in the current world. The clairvoyant, yeah?
Yeah.
Invested in clairvoyant and LAPD.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't pick arbitrary settings. Make your settings work. Works for me.
Works for me.
Okay, great. Do we want to do this for all the characters or just Daisaku?
I think Daisaku and Jerry.
Yeah, let's do Jerry too.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Night, Heather.
Night. Cares about cleaning up LA. I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe her grandma. or something. Like she should be a hard ass, but she's got like a sweet spot for like old people
Or kids.
or kids.
Yeah, like, oh, maybe was Jerry maybe a little bit of a troubled youth?
Maybe that's why she pulled Justicia aside and Justicia wasn't just thrown into juvie.
Mm-hmm.
Was a troubled youth and saw herself in Justicia. What's the worst thing that could happen to Jerry? Maybe she could die. Maybe she has a daughter, and maybe something happens to the daughter.
I don't know.
Because
or maybe something happened to the daughter already. Daughter was a runaway. That would tie back with and disappeared. That would tie back with our human trafficking.
I was just about to recommend something like that too. Disappeared into human trafficking ring. Unbeknownst to her, of course.
Yeah.
Until she finds her on a website. I mean,
of cabinetry.
Yeah. An investment in the current world.
That would be Justicia. Like making sure that she doesn't just get lumped in.
I'm going to do one for Christopher too.
Okay. Making sure that Justicia doesn't just get lumped in with being an arsonist and being a quote unquote domestic terrorist, because clearly she's got other stuff going on with the whole abilities thing. So.
Okay, so Christopher is a good guy at the beginning of the book, right? So
he thinks he's doing right.
He thinks he's doing right.
Because that's our whole white savior complex.
Right.
So, I mean, Christopher does genuinely care about finding a place for these displaced kids. He just
finding a foster home for Justicia.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that could happen? His trafficking ring exposed. What's his investment in the current world? Invested in
saving
young troubled people.
Yeah.
Cool. First plot point.
Okay. About 25% of the way into the story, this changes everything. It's a point of no return and marks the end of Act 1. Make it a big event. So.
So far, we have...
Oh, this should be... Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
This should totally be where Daisaku discovers that it's actually... That it's actually a... no, maybe not.
Maybe that should be the midpoint. I think I know what you're thinking. Like,
he's going to discover that the demons are involved in the social workers' network at some point.
I think it's too early to find out about demons, or maybe
something nefarious is going on with these foster homes.
So maybe a scene Maybe this is the scene. Fuck. How about this is where he learns that Justicia isn't a Nefandis at all.
Oh, yeah, duh. That she's unnatural flambeau.
She's unnatural.
Or that's his improper thinking. That's his flawed logic.
That's his logic. Anyway.
Thanks, Melanie. It really goes a lot faster when you're bouncing between two brains.
Oh my god, it goes so much faster with two people.
When you've got two brains and 20 people in the chat occasionally pinging you with an idea here and there, it goes so much faster.
So much faster. So the cool thing is that with K.M. Weiland's thing, there's no saggy middle.
Yeah.
Right? I kind of took her thing and divvied up into 4 acts instead of 3. So there's Act 1, Act 2.1, Act 2.2, Act 3.
Yeah, that works.
And then the epilogue, whatever. So from 25% to 50% of the novel, this covers the reactions of the events to the first plot. The antagonist responds. All right. So,
well, this is where Christopher is more involved.
Christopher.
Hey, RK, good to see you.
Hi, RK. Your stream was so awesome with Keelan.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. God damn it. All right.
It's totally fine. You are not late at all.
Yep.
Not really.
Really. Christopher is more involved in putting Justicia in a foster home. This is K.M. Weiland's outline.
Yep.
Which I'm quite familiar with.
Yeah, so at this point, Christopher's more involved in getting Justicia into a foster home because since she is a natural flambeau.
Would he know about her fire powers? Or just
it would be part of the video is going to be part of the file that Jerry initially files. And if she's in some type of custody juvie, he's going to be the assigned social worker.
And he would see the backpack blow and the AoE effect that she gives off.
Yeah. He would see
should totally be a scene where
Hey, Savvy!
Hey, Savvy! About time!
Well, I know she was having the power outage, so...
Oh, right on. With
the
big
storm.
And poor Chewie and...
Yeah.
It's okay. No worries.
It's all right. It is totally fine. That's what replays are for later, and it's all good.
It's all good. We're glad that you showed up.
Yeah. It's more brains to ping things off of.
Indeed. Power went out in my neighborhood, no electricity, so I was traveling to my parents. Oh!
Yeah.
Stay at your parents' place.
I'm just glad that you're safe. That you're all safe and all good, and poor Chewie's not all neurotic and everything, and...
Craziness.
Yeah.
Now has access to police video of Justicia blowing her top and becomes more involved in putting Justicia in a foster home. derechos.
Yeah.
That sucks. I didn't realize they happened that far west. Son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. Besides, if bad weather can happen, it happens in Chicago. So.
Yeah. No shit. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. All right. So,
should this be the first pinch?
I think it's actually the first pinch.
So
we still got to figure out part 1.
So his reaction. So Daisaku now must come up with a non-Christian method of capturing her, and must use his people skills, which he sucks at.
Yeah, RK, it's a 3-act structure.
It is. It's almost a 4-act structure. Almost.
Yeah, because it does break down Act 2 in parts.
Into 2 parts. So it's 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%.
Yeah.
And then like 110%, whatever.
Because epilogue. Yeah.
It's epilogue.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't believe in prologues. I think they're bullshit.
They are.
Let's see, what's Jerry doing?
So at this point, Jerry I would think would be kind of hands off, other than kind of keeping.
Is occupied.
Oh, because we've still got all the protests and.
Oh.
Yeah, we've still got all the protests going on, so Jerry's got a lot on her plate.
Are still rampant.
Mm-hmm. Hey, okay. Scully.
Hi, Scully. So good to see you.
Yeah, so, I mean, Jerry's still got a bunch on her plate just going on with the riots and the protests and everything.
Who burned down a building and killed a homeless man during a riot.
There we go.
Oop. They're still rampant. So Jerry has her hands filled.
Right now, I think at this point, all she would be doing is kind of, I don't know.
Beating him for a beer?
Like shuffling Justicia's case to the bottom so that Daisaku has more time to do his thing.
Tries to buy more time. I think my phone just told me to go to bed. Sure, tries to buy more time for Daisaku to by putting just
by misfiling.
By misfiling Justicia's case.
I think that's like the most Jerry could be doing at this point.
And working with the social worker.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And then that's how Christopher gets access to the police video. So he becomes more involved in putting her in a foster home.
Yeah, because this is a natural flambeau. He recognizes it.
He reveals that he is involved in the supernatural world.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't have any abilities or anything. But, well, yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Super powerful.
Yeah, he's suggestive. forgot. Ooh. Okay, so Act 2, Part 1.
Okay, so what's the final battle? For the final battle or the battle?
Well, the final battle was with the Morning Star. Right?
Yes.
But the battle is with Belial.
She has like a thing in her book that actually says consider a full climax. So
well, that's the battle with Belial, right?
Yeah,
that's our faux climax, because that's where Daisaku gets hurt. That's where Justicia becomes the
Daisaku must fight the Christopher, which means, and he loses, of course.
And he loses. That's where he gets hurt.
But this is the battle that he's prepping for, right? So Daisaku must learn how to fight Christopher.
Thank you. We're hoping that it is RK.
Yeah. So he uses mind powers to make Daisaku leave the room. And then he's like, holy shit, that guy has mental powers. I need to make my mind a steel trap.
So how is he? Who does he?
Clairvoyant, maybe? Maybe he's a psychic in other ways too.
So, well, you would think he'd have to have some mental training in order to keep from going crazy. So he'd have to have like some type of additional mental training, like yogi training.
Like a mentor?
Well, yeah, I mean, or he's just self-taught. If he's been a clairvoyant since he was a kid, eventually he would have figured out how to put up defenses and walls and things like that to keep the future out.
The clairvoyant, yeah.
Yeah. So Daisaku maybe goes to the clairvoyant and says, I need to learn how to at least keep this guy out of my brain.
For training on against attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll come up with a bio thingy for our poor clairvoyant as well. Because he just became more important.
He just became more important in the story. See, he was only supposed to have like this little micro part in the story is what we were thinking initially. But now as we get going, we realize he's going to have to be more important. He or she is going to have to be more important.
I kind of like the idea of them being like non-binary.
Oh, we could totally have a non-binary character.
So like a super androgynous clairvoyant, kind of otherworldly.
Yeah. Or if we do either non-binary or if we do gender fluid, I have quite a stable of beta readers that are gender fluid. I don't really have any that are non-binary.
I know a bunch that are non-binary. I don't know if I can talk them into
beta-ing. Yeah, so that might be a consideration. I know I have 5 betas that are gender fluid.
Okay, so we'll make it to our gender fluid clairvoyant, and asks for training against psychic attacks.
Cool.
The 50% point, everything changes again.
Yes. This is where we need to start knowing about the demons.
Oh my god, demons.
Ah!
And oh my god, human trafficking.
Yes. This is where Christopher's whole ring gets blown wide open.
Right. Well, not wide open, but
well, not wide open, but
start to figure out like more children are disappearing. Where
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, where those kids are going, what's happening in those foster houses. Like basically by tracking Justicia.
Mm-hmm.
All right, part 2. The protagonist is reborn after the personal revelations at the midpoint. So there is a sense of, I can do it, yes I can. So, yay, my Christian shit works.
Sure.
No, it's a full-on demon.
So Tomas was offering says could help with non-binary stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me write that down so we can get a hold of you later when it comes to it.
Because a lot of it will come to once we start fleshing out our clairvoyant, how our clairvoyant actually presents themselves to us. So, like, initially, didn't know Jerry was going to be a female, but once Jerry started presenting herself,
I randomly rolled it. I shit you not.
Okay. It works.
Yeah,
that works.
Just happened to be female.
Okay, sometimes we roll it. Sometimes they present themselves to us. Sometimes we just draw things out of hats.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do stuff deliberately because we want to represent.
All right. People. Our doll is like, woo!
Yeah. Doll is super excited about a gender fluid clairvoyant. So
I like it too.
Melanie's enjoying how versatile our characters are in the story.
Which is great because they're so vague right now.
Yes. We don't have a whole lot of substance to them yet. We got the real basic shit down.
We've only got basic shit down.
But as we start writing, that's where they'll give us little things that, once we're there. I mean, they're already giving us more things. Jerry just gave us the fact that she had a daughter that went missing.
Yeah,
that wasn't there. Jerry just gave us that she had a kid that went missing. So that's why she's so invested in this particular story.
Human trafficking found Jerry's daughter dead.
Enthralled, I think, would be better.
Enthralled. And that's basically how we break it open. Like, oh my gosh, it's Jerry's daughter. And she's enthralled to this demon. Holy shit, there's the demon.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. So I really think this should be kind of the first time Daisaku and Jerry have actually worked a real case together. They know each other. They've known of each other. They've worked around each other before.
First case that Jerry and Daisaku work closely as partners together rather than around each other.
Mm-hmm. And then that way we get the to the clairvoyant that Jerry didn't have access to before, that Daisaku has access to, and then bam, we got the human trafficking ring, and bam, we got Jerry's kid.
That is Jerry is introduced to the clairvoyant and gives them the lead to Jerry's Kid. Oh my gosh, no. Let's name the kid.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it Jerry's kid.
Jerry's kid. We don't want to do. All right. What are y'all thinking in the chat? What do you
Like
think
Little
Jerry's
Billy or some shit.
Jerry's daughter should be named? We'll give you a second.
Give us a female name for a little girl. Well, no, she's probably a teenager by now.
She's probably a teen. Yeah. I mean, she could even be an adult by this point, depending on how long Jerry's been. Oh, how old are we making Jerry? That's right. Hold on. She's only 31.
She's only 31.
Yeah. So she's only 31.
So she would have been a teenager when she had the kid. Maybe.
Well, she was a troubled kid.
Right?
So she was a troubled kid.
So maybe she was pregnant at like 16 or 17. And
I would even say like pregnant at
14 or 15?
Pregnant at 14 or 15.
And that would leave the kid at like 14 or 15?
Yeah. That would leave the kid at like 14 or 15. Ha ha, RK. Ha ha. Can't name her Jerry. Can't name her Jerry after her mom.
Iris, Kelly, Siri. Why would you do that?
Seriously. Alice.
Alice is good, but since we're writing a horror book, it might call back to Silent Hill a little too easily.
Yeah. RK likes Iris. It's cool no matter how you flip it. I like Iris, and Jerry could have a tattoo.
That's a really cool idea. All right. Come on, hotkeys, do my bidding. To Iris, who is now 15 and still alive.
But enthralled.
Well, we find out that she's enthralled.
So, yeah, down here in the midpoint. Yeah.
Down here in the midpoint. Ooh, it's a full-on demon.
Yeah. Ooh, full-on demon.
Let's see. Protagonist is reborn. Yeah, I can do it. It's important to remember the character arc and overcoming flaws. A character's change must be gradually revealed through overcoming obstacles.
Well, at this point, one of Daisaku's obstacles is that he's not nearly as powerful as he thinks he is.
He is not as powerful as he thinks he is.
Because, I mean, he's this big bad flambeau. He's been this big bad flambeau since he was a kid.
So
and now he's dealing with...
He can't light a cigarette, but he can, like, light a bonfire.
Well, not just that, but now he's dealing with something that's completely out of his scope. Like... He's used to dealing with
Nefandi, right?
Yeah, he's used to dealing with Nefandi, but he's not used to dealing with this social worker that has suggestive mind powers and like
especially with a tattoo. Yeah, I think it should be a flower tattoo.
Eva's niece is Iris as well.
Oh, perfect. One of my former co-workers, his name is Iris. Okay, we get it. It's a common name. Got it.
All right. So Iris it is. All right. So, yeah. So he's powerful. He's got these powers, but also now he's going up against demons, and the flambeau ability doesn't really help him against demons.
Finds out that his fire powers do nothing versus demons.
Yeah, can't burn them with that kind of fire. Second pinch point. 50% of the way into the story, show the antagonist might still win, foreshadow the final battle. This is a place of revelation for the protagonist.
It's got to be a fight with... We're going to weave in some Mage Council stuff too. So
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe
because we still have the whole suppression of this information.
Reports. So maybe does Daisaku go back to the Mage Council and basically say, hey, this is what's going on? And they're like, shut your face, you're suspended. And he's like, what the fuck? So they
tell him to drop it?
So any clout he might have had in the case on the supernatural side, they're like, you can't work on the case anymore. And he's like, fuck you, I'm going to work on the case anyway.
Yes, but why?
Well, he's invested in Justicia at this point, right? We still haven't done the hospital scene because that comes later, right?
That comes later. That comes after the fake climax.
Yes, it does.
So right now he's just like, dude, there's trafficking going on.
Yeah.
So
maybe the lieutenant is also involved in the human trafficking ring?
No. Yeah, but how does that tie in with the celestial? That wouldn't tie in with the celestial thing.
No, it would not.
And that's the only thing that the lieutenant cares about at this point. Okay, we'll step back from this just a bit.
Yeah.
So why would anyone in the Mage Council want him to stop? Because he's just blown open this human trafficking ring.
Well, not necessarily blown open.
Well,
again, he's revealed that there is a human trafficking ring.
He's just discovered this human trafficking ring. So why would the Mage Council want him to stop all of a sudden?
Because all of the members of the human trafficking ring are enthralled. They're all Nefandi. Like they're all thralls to demons.
But you'd think the Mage Council would want him to continue on the case.
Well, that's his assumption, right? He's like, hey, I need backup. And they're like, well, you're dealing with demons, and technically we need to investigate you because you're consorting with demons now. And he's like, whoa, that's not what I said. I said that, yeah.
Oh, wait. So maybe they don't believe him,
right?
That she's a natural flambeau. They don't believe his conclusions that he's come to.
Ooh.
They believe that she's enthralled, and by association, somehow she's corrupted him.
I dig it.
So there are just enough corrupt. So the lieutenant that's on the Mage Council realizes that he's getting really close to this whole demon enthrallment thing going on, which is getting way too close to the whole celestial suppression.
Uh-huh.
And so he's got enough corruption going on within the Mage Council to get it shut down, to get Sako shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. So he asks for backup, but the lieutenant doesn't the lieutenant shuts him down, saying that the girl can't be a natural. And
she was way too powerful.
Way too powerful. And I moved my foot. Way too powerful. that she must be a thrall, and since you've been so close to her, you must have drunk the punch. We're suspending you from the case
until further investigation, blah, blah, blah.
Until further while you're under investigation.
Yeah. Hey, Megan.
Hi. Oh my God, 25 more minutes. What?
Oh, come on, we've got a lot done. All right. Act 3, 75% onwards. Pick up the pace of the story.
I do also want to involve Christopher in some way. So Christopher should like remind him that he's a pain in the ass.
Should remind Daisaku?
Yeah.
That Daisaku is, or that Christopher is?
That Christopher is a pain in the ass.
That Christopher is a pain in his ass. Well, what about at this point?
If he's gonna want revenge for being, I know, right, Melanie?
Yeah.
So if
crazy. Okay. Well, at this point,
he's gonna want revenge for his human trafficking thing to be revealed. Maybe he sends people after Daisaku to kill him, or to go after people he likes, like Jerry.
What if he goes after the clairvoyant?
Goes after the clairvoyant.
Because one, the clairvoyant is teaching Daisaku how to resist mind powers.
As revenge for revealing human trafficking ring.
Yeah, because Christopher's going to need Daisaku to be weak in that area. So that he can get Justicia.
Well,
because I don't think he'd go after Jerry, because Jerry still gets him kids. He is a social worker, and that's his cop hookup.
Yeah. Though Jerry was involved in revealing the human trafficking ring.
Yeah, but kind of accidentally. Thank you, Bonnie.
Woo! Christopher goes after the clairvoyant as revenge for revealing the human trafficking ring. Gains Justicia in into foster ring. Because that would definitely remind us that Christopher's a pain in the ass if Justicia is forced into the foster house.
Yeah.
And
so the indoctrination can start.
In which case, our 75 point. So maybe she blows off again because she is, resilient Latina woman. So she, they're basically like, hey, you should totally be enthralled to this demon. It will give you power. And she's like, you want to see power? This is power. And basically runs, right? So But then we got a third plot point. So the third plot point should be our faux climax, right?
Yes. This should definitely be the faux climax. But before it,
so we've got to link A to C.
Yeah.
we need that B.
We need B. Okay, so we've brought Iris into it at this point.
So
do we use Iris
in the hospital?
Well, wouldn't Iris be in the foster home?
Would she still be there?
You know how hard it is to get adopted in a foster home when you're like 16?
Yeah, no kidding.
And you're a troubled kid?
Iris is in a new foster home.
So somehow we use, maybe Iris is the one trying to convince Justicia to go with the demons?
Convince Justicia to sign up with the demons. And Justicia says, "Hells no."
Well, I don't know. She's kind of on the fence at this point.
Is on the fence. Nobody wants the trouble kids. Just saying, my parents are very special. Probably not from this planet. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the longer you're in the foster system, the harder it is to find a permanent home. So
she'd be more apt to be in a group home or a juvenile center than a foster home at this point. Yeah, so we could put
them in group homes rather than foster homes.
In a new group home.
There we go.
Tries to convince Justicia. Oh, and maybe the adult in the house, basically the doctor in the house, is a demon.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they should all be some lower level demon. Basically, just put there as watchers.
The doctor is a watcher demon, low rung, available for contracts. So there's got to be some way that Iris is in her new group home. So the idea is that Justicia should prove to Daisaku that she's on the fence about this. And they should have some kind of disagreement.
Yeah, this is totally where, the Kool-Aid that Iris is pitching sounds pretty good. Justicia is already pretty powerful, and Iris is saying they can make her more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
She can finally do the things that she wants to do as far as the movement.
And she won't need to be in a goddamn foster home.
Yeah. and she won't have to be in the foster and the group homes anymore. Iris is only there because she's chosen to be there.
Because free board and food and stuff, right?
It also lets her deal with. It also lets her like work with Christopher and the demons to like help other kids like herself.
And Justicia disagree. Justicia is working with Christopher.
No,
Iris.
Iris's.
Justicia is working with Iris, who is working with Christopher. And she's contemplating the idea of signing up.
Yeah, she wants to be more powerful. She's been powerless for most of her life. She's got this movement that she's involved in, and she wants to be as powerful as possible in the movement.
Sounds like a good deal, but Sako argues that she's not like that. You're not my real dad. And she runs off.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daisaku must fight Christopher and lose. I love that Iris is going to be her name. I've already forgotten what Jerry is short for. Geraldine.
Geraldine.
And suggested that nickname too.
Yeah, so Daisaku fights Christopher and loses because this is where we get... No, this isn't where we...
This is where Belial shows up.
Yes, this is where Belial shows up.
Belial shows up.
And flambeau abilities do jack shit against
demons. What about the... So this is the ICE thing, right? This fight? Or is that a pinch?
Ooh. That's something that Justicia needs to reveal. Or...
No, oh my gosh.
Oh, no, this is totally where we get ice. No, this is totally where we get ice because that's what flips Justicia. Is she remembering her mom being hauled off by ICE officials, and now they're coming after him. It's just like oh hell no, you didn't. I was on your side until ICE came into this.
I see the altercation and intro to Belial. Belial is one of the demons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Lloyd. Good to see you.
Hi, Lloyd.
I'll be right back.
Yep, no problem. When she comes back, I will ask her to read out to me the ICE event, and I will write it down.
Okay.
Okay. I would like you to read to me the altercation from our document so that I can log it proper like in here.
All right, let me see here. All right. Okay. Small ending, which is our faux climax. Demon involved in this scene as a captain commander sort Belial. First face off with the demon affiliated ICE agents who are thralls. Daisaku loses, burning himself out as he tries to get Justicia to safely away from them. He's taken to the hospital after the real police get involved because he did not check in with the Mage Council. So they reached out to Jerry. Now we switch our point of view to Justicia.
Because he has to go into the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So does that happen during the third plot point, or does that happen at the 75% point?
That happens during the... that's actually going to happen during the 75% point. But then what is our third plot point?
Him actually fighting Christopher and Belial showing up. And Daisaku dying, basically. And then he looks like he's going to win, and then he dies. And
No, because she protects him.
But he dies in the end, right?
No.
I thought he did.
Nope. We've got okay, hold on. Justicia finds out that Watson put her as a contact who could visit him at the hospital.
Right.
She overhears Jerry and him talking about his background, and she's like, what the fuck? You could have just told me all this shit, and I might have followed you better all this time. Mega ending is a showdown between Justicia going Omega level and taking out Christopher.
Oh.
Todd turns his powers on Watson, but Justicia Omegas to protect him.
Okay. So that is definitely the third plot point.
Yeah. So Daisaku fighting Christopher has to be in Act 3, which is the first face-off with ICE.
So first face-off with ICE agents who are after who are enthralled.
There we go.
Belial.
Daisaku burns himself out as he gets Justicia away from them.
Daisaku burns himself out to get Justicia away from them.
Yeah. And then she goes to the hospital.
Ends up in the hospital.
Yes.
So this scene should happen before the
Yeah. There we go.
So ends up in the hospital. She goes to the hospital to check on him, finds out that she's on the short list, and overhears Jerry pitching out Daisaku about backstory shit.
Yeah. Then third plot point.
Justicia is bursts in and calls him out, gets upset. And leaves.
Yeah. And then we get Daisaku fights Christopher. St. Todd turns his powers on Watson. It's like maybe Daisaku's not up to his full strength. He checks himself out early.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So Daisaku checks himself out before he's technically ready and is attacked by Christopher. D doesn't have the strength to fight back, but Justicia does.
And she Omegas.
She Omegas
to protect him.
More than the beginning to protect him. And makes mincemeat of Christopher, yeah.
Yeah. So we need Belial, though, to be part of this scene, too, because we've got Belial to go through / kill Watson to get to Justicia, but she's immune to Belial.
That's our actual climax.
That's the actual climax, yeah.
Belial, Valiant, yeah, good job.
Valiant.
I love which weirdo writes. Which weirdo writes.
I agree. It is fun to make things in Canva.
Mm-hmm.
Which weirdo writes? Couldn't resist. Yes, Key, we could totally agree that red pandas are terminally cute. Yes. Adorable little freaks.
Yes, they are. After Christopher's death and picks up the torch, going through D to get to J.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, we do have. So Belial does take out Daisaku. I'm sorry.
Yep, Dai is killed. So Dai is killed.
And then the Morning Star comes to offer to tutor her.
Jay kills.
Yes, Dana.
Belial.
It's ICE, like the Border Patrol people.
Exactly. We got to be like super careful with it because not all ICE patrolmen are evil, but it's questionable. So
questionable.
Jay kills Belial with celestial fire.
Yes.
The Morning Star. Oh no, it was actually wounds Belial with celestial fire, and then the Morning Star annihilates the Belial upon entering the room and offers to train the girl.
And reveals that her mother was celestial and that he knew her.
That should remain in the climax.
Yeah.
He knew her mother, and she was an angel. She was literally an angel.
Yeah.
And then, so something with the clairvoyant.
Yes.
So maybe it's Daisaku's funeral.
That works.
So Jerry is there. Iris is there.
Why would Iris be there?
Because Jerry.
She's still enthralled, though.
Well, that would explain.
I know Jerry. Jerry should totally be
there. Well, we need to wrap up Iris's arc in general, right? So at some point we need to define Iris getting out.
What if Iris goes with Christopher to kill Daisaku? Or goes with Christopher to help convince Justicia to join them, but is instead turned off by the fact that Christopher or Belial kills Daisaku?
Oh.
It's getting really warm in my office.
So not Iris. We'll figure something out for Iris.
Mm-hmm. But Jerry should definitely be there. The clairvoyant should be there. Dana, I don't know that we're specifically shooting for YA fantasy.
This will be an adult book.
Yeah, it will be a paranormal horror, but it has a lot of YA characters in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it has a YA character in it.
Well, Iris as well.
Well, Iris and
Justicia.
And Justicia, but just the two.
Okay, so
everybody else is the. Lisa Daly had some authors on her channel. One of them was experienced with ICE and may be worth a reach out for some advice as far as the writing parts go. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
Would anybody else be at his funeral?
Well, there are still some good Mage Council people.
Maybe someone from the Mage Council.
Yeah. Like, there should at least be a representative, I would think, from the Mage Council.
Justicia.
Yeah. I mean, there could be a whole ton of other people he's worked with, but yeah.
I like the idea of, like, nobody else is there. Like, nobody gave a shit about fucking Daisaku.
I don't know. He's gruff and he's tumble and everything, but still, he's helped people.
He's helped people. Tired and stubborn.
Love it. Yep. Tired and stubborn. That's pretty much first life. Yes, Tomas. Because that's orders, is literally a war crime. Because of Nuremberg trials. So, okay, so maybe this is where we bring in a few more people that Daisaku has helped in the past. And maybe this is when Justicia finally turns down the Morning Star.
A few more people tell stories about
how he was there for them.
Daisaku was there for them. And she decides that she will turn, or rather, she officially turns down the Morning Star. Closing line. Theme reference.
Oh.
We're so close.
I know. We're so close.
We're so close.
Brain fried. Doesn't help that it's getting hot in my office. I'm
going to save where we're at. Just in case. Acquaintances and coworkers sent their regards but didn't bother to show. So lots of flowers, but not many attendees.
I think it would just be the people that he really affected. Like coworkers and stuff, not a whole bunch that came out. But yeah.
I kind of like the idea of there being more flowers than people.
We'll have to play with that a little bit. But I think something has to sway Justicia to eventually be like, fuck you, Morningstar. To honor Daisaku or... Plus, we've still got a whole corruption thing going on. We still got a whole corruption thing going on within the Mage Council.
Which is why I think it's cool that the Mage Council guy is there.
Mm-hmm.
So we can have the Mage Councilman say something, or if he doesn't say something, that opens up for another book.
Which we don't know if we're going to do or not.
Right.
I mean, if he doesn't say something, it leaves a thread open, but we don't necessarily have to do something.
We don't necessarily have to do something. Like the council was bigger than Daisaku, and there was no chance that he was going to bring it down. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much, Bonnie.
Curse you. Curse you.
Summation of the story, ideally with a theme reference. This is always so hard to summarize all of this stuff.
I think it'll be easier in writing.
Yeah, it will be.
All right, let me add this to
Our Bible.
our Bible. Oh, I still have my vampire stuff open.
I got like 1,000 things open.
I'm going to add it to the end after the character profiles.
Okay, that works.
And put the date.
Yep.
Today is
10.
20. Oh, math. Know it.
Not always a writer's strong suit.
Boop. Oh, boop. I don't know. I don't know why there's so much space.
That's okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll take up space, but I don't care.
It's all
right,
fine.
so this was a really short version. I wonder if this will fill out a book. I don't know.
I think it will once we start elaborating.
Yeah.
I mean, once we actually start like getting the writing in there, I think it totally will.
Okay. Great.
All right. So we've got, other than the summarization line,
Mm-hmm.
we are good to go. Which I don't always need the summarization line anyway.
Oh, my thing is still open. But
yeah, Melanie is like, I literally left my psychology program to pursue creative writing because I hated the math courses with my prereqs. Yeah. Mathies. Writers aren't so good at mathies.
maths. Cool. We're not that late.
No, we're doing good. We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so we're still doing really good. We just came up with the plot, with the beats for the entire thing.
At least for a zero draft.
Yeah, at least for zero draft, which
we can start fleshing. We can continue to flesh out the characters. We can continue to flesh out the chapters if we so desire. We can. Yeah, I'm usually a 30 to 40 chapter sort of person, but I don't know how you split up your chapters.
So I'm a little weird. I'm big on
my chapter lengths vary depending on pace.
Yeah, and my chapter lengths are usually I go for a shorter chapter count and much longer chapters with bigger scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
With our zero draft, and then we'll see if we need to weave in another subplot, if we need to flesh out the human trafficking ring, because we almost left that
kind of untouched, mostly untouched.
So I've got my 30 beat thing, which involves KM Weiland's thing as well.
Okay.
So, and the Sid Field paradigm and the 3-act rule and the hero's journey and the snowflake method and
so a few things.
It's the combination of a few things, and that's how I've been writing my books all this time. So
okay. Hey, I'm willing to give it a shot.
We can tinker with that, and we can combine some of the chunks as we feel the chapters deserve to be ended.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate it. It's kind of like it's easier to be able to bounce off of somebody else, and so it's much quicker. I mean, this would have taken me a couple of days to flesh out on my own. Yeah. So, it's just
whoa,
strong.
Yeah, excellent. Here's to getting shit done.
Like I am.
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking water.
I'm drinking cherry Coke.
Nice.
That's what I'm drinking tonight. All right, so that pretty much is it for tonight, guys. We got our beats, our zero draft beats all ready to go. We still have to flesh out. Now we have created a whole new character in Iris that's going to have to be
Iris and the clairvoyant.
Yeah, and the clairvoyant has to be way fleshed out because we didn't do that. And now the clairvoyant has a much larger role than what we initially planned. So see, this is where you can have all the greatest idea of where you're going to start, but as you're going through things, you realize that characters need bigger sections, or they need smaller sections than what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You have to create whole new bridge characters in order to get two plots to come together. So I think that this really showed that there's a lot of tinkering that goes into even knowing what your initial plot is, to knowing who your characters are, and knowing what your zero draft beats are. So for those that were wanting to see how we do it, kind of a thing. So anyway, that is pretty much it, Writing Weirdos, for tonight. Next week, we will be on Sako's channel. Woo! And we'll be hanging out there, where we will flesh out our clairvoyant and Iris so that we have those two characters.
And maybe start on that 30 beat thing that will turn into our outline for our chapters.
Yes, and we can totally get started on the 30 beat at that point. That should be good as far as I think next week, because I think 30 beat is going to take us. That's going to take us most of next week.
Well, the upside is we already did this KM Wyland thing, so we can just plug and play.
Yeah, we should be able to plug and play and then flesh
flesh
out
in like some subplot stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, awesome. So we got a plan for next week. We've got our basic plot. We've got our KM Wyland beats. We've got our main characters, and we just got to flesh out a couple more that we came up with. So it's all good. So next week we got some plan, y'all.
We got some plan.
Really glad that everybody has been enjoying the experience with us. This is totally different for Sako and I because we're having to learn each other's process as we go things and the way we think about things, and how every writer thinks about stuff is completely different, like how we circle back to different plots and our whys behind things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that everybody's been enjoying it. I'm glad that you're having fun, doll. And yeah, if our process helps people, great. If your process works for you,
also great.
Like, this is just us showing our process, which is totally different than Savy and RK's process when they do their streams on Fridays.
Yep.
And I like to sit in and watch how they do things, even though they're using Story Planner, the same thing that we're using.
They're using a different arc.
Yeah, totally different arcs and tools. They're approaching it differently because it's a different genre. I mean, so it's entirely, it's very individualistic to. It's like everybody that says I can teach you how to write a book is like blowing it out their ass, because nobody can teach you how to write a book. They can teach you their way of writing a book, and then you kind of hodgepodge figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And yay, doll, you did not fall asleep. That coffee worked for you. All right, so my writing weirdos, that is pretty much it for this evening. Sako, why don't you go ahead and do your outro for anybody that joined us after the beginning?
Howdy, howlers. It's Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine these three things to bring you content. Tonight, we wrote some beats, and it was awesome. If you want to be a witchy or witcher, you want to market yourself as an author, please drop by my channel, and we'll hang out and drink coffee and stuff.
And all of Sako's contact information is down below. Her socials, her merchandise store, her Patreon, all of that is down there. So go and check it out. You should totally subscribe. She has lots of really awesome content for being a witchy or witch, and for being an author, and for
I like that.
a witchy or witch and an author. And just how to combine all that stuff, and then she throws in the whole graphic design and marketing background, which is just bonus gravy for adding to being more special. If you don't know who I am BC, and you are on my channel, BC Brown Books. If you don't know who you are, please get help. You don't know where you are, please get help. Anyway, this is where we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can, and that's by writing them or talking about writing them. And tonight we did both. We wrote them and talked about writing them at the same time. I'm really glad that everybody's been joining us for this process. This is both Sako and my first time with co-authoring. Did you happen to see that interview with Allegra?
Oh,
I did not.
I think you were sick when it happened. She also is an avid role player that turned author. And basically she's been co-authoring with other role players. And that's how she writes, is she basically logs these RPs, and that's her gig.
So I have done that before. I have fan fictioned my RPs.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I have the hiccups all of a sudden.
Mhm.
But I've never co-authored them.
I have. That's interesting.
That'd be fun.
Ooh.
Okay, I can't. No, too many projects. Can't do it. Can't do it. But yeah, I'll have to go and check it out because I'm still getting caught up from being sick. I was already behind on like catching up on videos and everything, and now I'm even more so. But okay, so yes, we are silly. That is for sure. Okay. Thank you so much, Spence. I am glad that you had fun and that people are learning along with us because we are learning along with each other. So, and yeah, y'all, I just want you to keep getting weird about your writing, keep getting weird about words and passionate about your craft and enjoying what it is that you do. And we will see you next week, weirdos. Bye.